Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Say Gosso, the remix.
DMB, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us in your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. But then it took a long fun eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I'm trying to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so tough. I felt the sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, a killing eye. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a Coke bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess, such a beauty, I'm impressed. And I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty, I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl, beautiful girl. Yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money. You seen her? Hot Ice. Have you seen her? LP. Have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful
beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace of her presents and gifts, call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me Aston Kutcher, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'm a go-getter. Since I'm a go-getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it, beautiful girl. Sparkling night, killing time. I found a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right, let's see how we do. What's going on? Can you hear me clearly? If you can hear me clearly, let me know. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Let me just see what's going on here. Looks like we're struggle streaming. I just want to make sure. It looks like we're good, right? What's going on, everybody? Good? Let's see. How's everyone doing? Ladies and gentlemen of Prestige, welcome back. Hit the like button on your way in. Not too, more fresh. Hello. Here's what I'm gonna do. I don't know what's going on. Let me see here. Let's struggle here a little bit. Let me see. All right. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me loud and clear? I think we should be good. Brother Patrick, good to see you, sir. I'm still trying to confirm, making sure that you guys can hear me. I might have to restart the whole thing. My browser. But I'm not sure. If you let me know you can hear me, we'll continue the show. We'll take the show from here. Let's see. Let me try something. You can hear me loud and clear. Okay. All right. Let me see something real quickly. Welcome back. Chia Alpha. How you doing? Hit that like button as you're coming in. As we're doing that, I'm just gonna go ahead and refresh the browser. It looks like it's struggling. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. I'll refresh the whole browser. You'll see blank out for a couple of seconds. I'll be back. Okay. Let's do that. I'm struggling. My ears. Something is off. You can hear me. Okay. All right. Yeah, there's something off. Let me just drop off for a second. I'll be right back. Okay. All right, let's hope everything is fine now. My audio is definitely not what it's supposed to be. The audio should be better now. How's that? Yeah. You can hear me now? Let me see. Better now. How's that? Yeah. I think it's better now. All right, welcome back. Shout out to all 12 of you watching me live right now. Early, 10 minutes in. You're here. Good to see you. I appreciate you. All right, great. Awesome. All right. This topic, it's a topic that kind of woke me up from my slumber. I was taking some time off, but this topic woke me up from my slumber because I felt like there's lessons, as usual. But welcome back. Let me just share my screen really quickly. Awesome. Yes, we're talking about this young lady, Okpongete. This young lady, she came out on the internet to tell a story. I want to read the story to you, the message she put on the internet to you in a second. All right, and this gentleman is one of the ministers, allegedly one of the ministers at House on the Rock. So we're gonna read that, but let's do some house rules really quickly before I continue. I'm gonna drop the link. I want to know what your opinions are. Okay, that's all I have to cover today, as a matter of fact. All right. So again, this is the Man of Prestige. I'm your host, Ola. I'm coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. Over here, we talk about relationships, self-power, social, emotional intelligence, mastery, the art of seduction and attraction. And if we have some time, we'll talk about marriage. But as usual, we're probably going to talk about marriage. But welcome back. All right, let's see here. Oh, by the way, the 30-day boot camp is out, so you can sign up at loveandprestige.com. It's a 30-day boot camp. You spend 5 to 12 minutes with me every day for 30 days learning how relationships work in the modern times. Okay, so you just go to loveandprestige.com to sign up for that. If you're not yet part of the notification gang, you can sign up at lolaandola.com/WhatsApp. Join the WhatsApp group. That way you can get notified by myself. Okay, every time I go live. And you can also use this phone number. Just text a WhatsApp message to this phone number. You'll be able to join the group. Okay. All right. So I wanted to bring us up to speed really quickly. This young lady, I'm looking at the picture, right? She's the same person in the picture to the right next to my head right there, right? Wow. She's clearly trying to tell us something, right? She's still a young lady right there. So there's not much I can find, but I don't think I need to find anything. I'm just going to use her words that she put out there, and we'll see if we can learn something today. Okay. There's no background music right now. Let me see. Something today. Okay. The background music is there. It's probably at the right level. All right, good. All right, awesome, Brother Patrick. Good to see you, Brother Patrick. And everyone, Chinye, I see you. Natu, I see you. All right, shout out to you all. So shout out to all 17 of you that just came in right now. Do me a favor, hit that like button as you're coming in. We do have a topic here, a domestic violence, JAPA, combination hybrid topic here that we're going to cover. Okay. All right, great. Yeah, I can hear the background music. Just depends. Struggle streaming. Anyway, welcome back. So this story, I'm gonna just read and then we'll talk about it. So I'm not sure it matters much that this guy is a minister at House on the Rock. I think the only thing we can get from that is that people are struggling in relationships everywhere around the world. At every sector you can think about, every group of people you can think about, Christianity, Muslim, Saudi Arabia, in India, in Nigeria, in South Africa. Don't let anybody deceive you. People are struggling with modern romantic relationships. Okay, and it's time to start looking at things a little bit differently and say, hey, maybe there's something to learn. Maybe I can learn something new, right? Because we don't really have a choice anyway. We're kind of stuck with each other. Okay, we don't have a choice. So we might as well just learn how this works. I was watching Dr. Shala earlier asking the question, like, if you don't need marriage, do you need intimacy? Something, I'm paraphrasing, something to that effect. You know, a lot of people, they claim they don't want marriage, they don't want blah blah blah, but they want everything else. They want children, they want legacy, they want career, they want sex, they want intimacy, they want everything else. That's really what, that's basically the things we should talk about. They want people they want to feel heard, they want to feel validated, they want to feel significant in society. These things, the only way they can get those things is basically from other people. Okay, and it's even best when you can get it from somebody that you've decided to collaborate and do life together. Anyway, the bottom line here is that everyone is copying for the most part. Okay, there might be some few exceptions out there. If it's real, they're usually quiet. It's not something they make noise about. But if you have to yell at the top of your lungs that you don't want to do marriage, there's a good chance that you're deceiving yourself. Just a chance. I can be wrong, right? So anyway, let me go ahead and start reading this to you. Before I read it to you, let's do some quick background, right? All right, this is her page. Okay, this is the person that put out this message. This is her page right here. She's got some pictures here. Taiwo Ajayi is her name now. I guess she changed her name. Okay. She says personal coach. You know, I want to slow down on this idea that people that are struggling cannot be personal coaches. I think it's a little weird, but you know, God can use anybody, right? To coach anybody, right? So personal coach, we'll see. But she's struggling. I think relationship coaches and personal coaches can struggle too. I think that's the bottom line. I think we can take that, right? But it's just interesting. Personal coach, bringing love and healing to a hurting world. Relationship coach. All right. So, and she has a LinkedIn page here. So it's a professional page. She's followed by Mike Abdul and Timmy Dakolo. So people must kind of know her. Well, she's an artist too. She's a musician. All right. So I'm just gonna look at some of those pictures. She's got a picture here. Let's see. Post 1, post 2, 3. Let's see. Oh, this was the actually post right here. Okay. So she posted everything here. As a matter of fact, I just realized that the posts are actually here. Okay, so the one I was looking at was the one posted by Instablog Nigeria, but I'm looking at her page right now. She actually posted them here. So I'm going to read them to you here, just to put some face, since we can put some face to it, right? Let's see here. If you look here, she's been posting some relationship stuff for a while. When people, unless they're content creators like myself, of course, right? But when people are posting relationship stuff, depending on the content of what they post to, right? When they're posting, there's a chance that they're going through something, okay? Or they've gone through something and they're just trying to help. But usually they're going through it, right? Usually they're in the middle of it, okay? But I believe that there's a movement that's coming that's going to be more and more people will want to, you know, help the family structure, help relationships, since we can't really escape it anyway. Like, we're going to have kids, we're going to have sex and have kids. We can't really escape this. This is just who we are, right? So we might as well learn how it works. But if you look here, she's been posting, okay, so this is as far back as 39 weeks ago. 39 weeks ago is almost a year ago. She posted this: divorce is okay, breaking up is okay, starting over is okay, moving on is okay, saying no is okay. All right. Some years back, my wife filed for divorce, and that was probably like the last leg that I needed. I started the journey before that, but that was the last leg that I needed. It's like, oh, this is real, right? I needed to learn something new, right? And we did a show. We had a different platform at the time that we were doing. We were talking about celebrities, just how and I gisting. It wasn't about relationships, right? And that last show that we did, this show I'm talking about must have been 2015 or so. On that last show, she said something I will be hearing for the first time at that time, that marriage is not a do or buy. What do you mean? Right? And on that show, YouTube deleted, I mistakenly deleted that channel and I couldn't get it back. I'm sure if I put some effort to it, I'll get it back. But honestly, I just left it alone since I let it go. I just let it die off with our last version of this marriage, right? I just left it alone, But so you probably can't find that video anywhere. Honestly, I try to find some of those videos. I can't find them unless YouTube, undo the deletion, right? Which is, I don't think that's possible at this point. But anyway, let me see here. Shout out to all 19 of you watching me live. Good to see you. So at that time, she said, marriage is not a do or buy. And I'm like, buy means deletion, a do or deletion. And I'm like, what do you mean? Where's that coming from? It became an argument right on the show. And the energy was quite awkward, and that was it, bro. That was it. That was the beginning of the separation at the time. Okay? So when you see people posting this kind of stuff, as good as it looks on the surface, hey, it's just a message, there's a good chance. Hey, I never speak in absolutes. Usually I don't, okay? But there's a chance that that person is going through something. All right? But, hey, this is not a prediction. We've seen something in the past 24 to 48 hours, and that's why we're saying that right now. So we'll come back to this. What I want to do is I want to scroll back up, and I want to go through what she posted. She posted this 3 days ago. Okay, I'm gonna just read it right here so you can see her face as we're reading it. Okay. Yeah. She says, a cry for help. This is part 1. Okay. And I think the one that I see on Instablog only had part 1 to it. So it's helpful that I came to her page, as a matter of fact. Yeah. It's helpful that I came to her page. So she said, fellow Nigerians, she's speaking to Nigerians, my name is Taiwo Ajayi. I have been separated from the ex-husband for the past 4 years. I was married for 12 horrible years to Joseph OKPONGETE. I hope I pronounced that right. That name sounds like he's from the Edos or Deltas, or possibly Akwa Iboms. I don't think that's an Igbo name, right? I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. For those 12 years, I suffered greatly under his roof, subjected to domestic violence in its most horrific forms. Let me just check something really quickly. These people, yeah. All right. 1 second. Let's just do that while we're live. The browser is struggling. Let's see here. And to be with like, these people, they don't demonetize again. They just did it to me. They do it to me sometimes. They demonetize before we actually get the show going, but I just request review. Anyway, so let's get back to it. She said 12 horrible years to Joseph OKPONGETE. For those 12 years, I suffered greatly under his roof, subjected to domestic violence in its most horrific forms. I faced physical, emotional, psychological, and financial abuse. We are both born again Christians and ordained ministers at the House on the Rock Church, Lagos. I appeal to the Christian body in Nigeria to please call one of those ministers to order, one of their ministers to order. I don't want to become another statistics of a Christian woman who was deleted from domestic violence. This case has been reported last year to the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, DSVA, where Joseph Okpongete was invited to, and he confessed twice to having beaten me, and this was recorded. It was also reported to the Nigerian police force. I was brutally raped on our honeymoon in Cairo, Egypt, as a virgin. Ouch. I was beaten up. I'm just speaking since they already limited us on monetization. I was beaten up when I was 5 months pregnant with our daughter. I was called fat, useless, and ugly by this man I had married. I was called fat, useless, and ugly by this man I had married, even though he married me as a beautiful size 12. I was beaten up severally, beaten while holding a new baby boy, having my head bashed into the wall. Hey, trigger alert. If you can't handle it, you can feel free to leave the room. Thank you. Trigger alert. Trigger alert. I'm just letting you know. Okay. Bashed into the wall, having my head bashed into the wall, which landed me in the hospital. I have faced several hospital visits and admissions due to the abuse. I suffered terrible silent treatments, was humiliated severally, publicly and privately, was cheated on by the husband with other women, and I would discover he was sleeping with the housemaids, who I would have to chase away from the house. All right, so she says continue on to the next post. Now if you pay attention to here, she has tagged people that she thinks can help. She tagged Tonya, bruised but not broken. These are probably people that address the kind of stuff. Timmy Dakolo, Instablog Niger. She's definitely trying to yell out for noise here, right? His name is Joseph Okpongete. Okpongete. Hit that like button. Hit that like button, I beg. Let me see. His name is Joseph Okpongete. Okay. Now, this is just her side of the story. So, this is all. In fact, everything we do on this show is allegedly. Okay. Just so you know. We're gonna go into post 2 in a second. She tagged Daddy Freeze today. She tagged Paul Adefarasin, who is their senior pastor. She tagged Funke Adejumo. She tagged a bunch of people. Kate Enshaw. Okay, so she tagged people that have history of advocating, or what do you call it? Activists for this type of situations, right? Lara George, I know Lara George. Lara George is a legend at this point. She was a singer. She said, I know we've spoken already, but I just wanted to leave a message here as well. Holding your hands through all of this, praying with you for the very best outcomes. Okay, that's a very nice thing for her to say. Nikki Laoye is also very popular. She's the one that was helping with Samuel Koso Burials and all that kind of stuff back then. She's a gospel artist too. She said, calling you immediately. Please be safe and fine, dear. You know I'm always here for you. So she's getting some support already. Okay, but she put this out here and she hasn't deleted it. So, but even if she deleted it, it's on Instablog Niger. This person says, oh my God, Taiwo, I haven't heard from you since our days at Firebrand Assembly. It's sad to reconnect with you via this news. Taiwo, I'm holding up in prayer. Okay, all right, good stuff. Let's go to part. Let me go to part. Okay, that was part 1. This is another picture she attached to. Okay, this is post 2. So this is all part of part 1. This is post 2 right now. All right, that picture almost does not look like the same person, right? Almost does not look like the same person. It's crazy. Anyway, she said, my successful career as an award-winning recruiter has been threatened and almost destroyed, even when I had worked within the oil E&P industry in Nigeria and worked with multinationals within corporate Canada in the finance industry. Because of the stress it was giving me, I lost my job with a multinational last year, which was fetching me the equivalent of 55 million naira. Okay, she's trying to make a point here. 55 million naira. Let's see. Okay, so about $83,000. I guess that's a year. I guess she was making $83,000 a year. All right. Wait. A year. I did. It should have been CAD, not USD. Okay, about 110,000 Canadian dollars per year. I was being paid in Canadian dollars. Oh, she wrote it actually right here. Look at me. See? I'm just reading. I'm reading it for the first time with you, okay? I was being paid in Canadian dollars and it was 100% remote. That's good stuff, right? My hard-earned resources and all that I have worked for the past 16 years was stripped away from me. Listen, if you're going through domestic issues that's consuming you emotionally, yes, you can lose your job easily. Because you just won't be able to pay attention, okay? You're going to mess things up. Due to the abuse I was suffering in the hands of Joseph OKPONGETE, I relocated to Canada with my children in 2016 to distance myself from this man and to give my children and I peace. He would come to Canada and ask the landlord to evict us from the property that I rented with my own money. And we would be suddenly rendered homeless. Wait, how is that even possible? Okay, I don't know how that's possible, but listen to what she just said, right? She said he would come to Canada and ask the landlord to evict us from the property that I rented with my own money, and we will be suddenly rendered homeless and have no choice than to return to his house in Nigeria. Okay. All right, maybe somebody can explain something to me. That place is not adding up. Unless his name was on the house or the rental. And then she said it like, let me see. And we would be suddenly rendered homeless. That sounds like it happened multiple times. Anyways, maybe somebody can help me. Due to the stress I was receiving on the home front, I would have burnout on my jobs in Canada and have to resign, leaving me with little or no income. So she wasn't fired, she resigned. Okay, I don't know if that makes any difference, but I know that stress can make you lose your mind and lose your job. When the abuse became too much, I had to call the Canadian police in Mississauga. I've never heard that before, in Ontario, who came to warn him at the house that if he continued this way, he would be arrested. This made him step back a bit. Chinye, it's the same question I'm asking though. How is that even possible, right? I returned to Lagos 2 months ago because I prefer being at home in Lagos. The climate works better for me. Okay, so she returned to Lagos after how many years? About 9 years? No. 2016 to 2000 and last year 2022. It sounds like 6 years. Okay, the climate was better for me. I have received threats from him about what he would do to me. Now you could tell here that she's using her own maiden name, which is Taiwo. He has also refused to pay child support, take care of the kids, nor pay their school fees. I've been running from this man for the past 4 years, and my country people, I am tired. Hence why I am crying out today for someone to please help me ask this man to leave me alone. There's another story I might cover in the next few days with Russell Simmons and Kimora Lee Simmons. She's asking Russell Simmons to leave us alone. I didn't see that one coming. I thought they were always cordial. They've been divorced for like 20 years or so. But he has insisted in a forceful manner that I return to his house. Okay. Let's see. Anyway, she decided to put this picture out there because she's trying to paint a picture of the state, her state emotionally. She did, but she did. Then she put this out too. This is post number 3 now. Okay. 2 weeks ago, his auntie called me, commanding me to return to his house, to which I politely but firmly refused. She told me that if I divorce him, that I will not make heaven. These people.
Not be juju be that.
That I will go to hell. Thank God the sacrifice that Jesus paid on the cross is all I need to make heaven, and not my marriage to this Shylock. What is a Shylock? Somebody help me. What is is it Shylock or Shylock? Google is our friend. Help me. He's owing me 250,000 Canadian dollars as initial relocation expenses to Canada. Okay, so let's make this make sense. You left so you can have peace. You left with your kids to Canada so you can have peace. He's owing you 250,000 Canadian dollars. Somebody help me make that make sense. Maybe we'll read to the point that it makes sense finally. Okay. But just it will conflict with the original statement, which is you were leaving so you can have some peace of mind. Sounded like you were actually separating from your, 6 years, more than 4 years. She said she has been separated for 4 years. So maybe she had moved first before she separated. Okay, maybe that makes sense. Anyway, so she says he's owing me 250 Canadian dollars as initial relocation expenses to Canada, draining my resources up to his plane ticket into Canada. I had to pay for it. What it sounded like to me is that they both decided to relocate the family to Canada. He's a minister at House on the Rock, all right? And he was probably going to do back and forth, and then they got into trouble with their marriage, and yeah, unfortunately, right now it's all in the poto. Hey Chinye, I love those poto videos. I can't wait to get them onto the screen. Thank you. Anyway, let's continue here. No, before I continue, let me see what you all are talking about. Yep, how's that possible? Oh snap, I thought they were good running their business. So did you know them? Yeah, fear. Well, I'd be like G-string. Sherlock means colors. Oh, colors. Okay, colors somebody. Okay, that makes better sense. It would have been easier if she included him in the Canadian PR application. What would be easier? Okay, because my original question is that how is it possible that he could get them kicked out of the house? That was my original question. You know, well, even at that, I can't. You can't call like here. I don't know how it works in Canada, but here right now, I can't come and call. I can't come out like even if I left my apartment for my family, right? I can't call the apartment complex and say, hey, my family live inside the place, kick them out. I can say, if it's on my name, I can go to court and say, hey, I'm no longer paying, I'm voluntarily giving the apartment back. I can do that, right? But then she can also go back to court and says, no, we leave there, we need time, I got children, and they will actually work with that. I don't know if that works like that in Canada, right? So there's more going on with that. Okay. All right. You were referring to Kimura Lee Simmons. Okay, yeah, we're gonna cover that story soon. All right, let me get back to the story. Okay, she's telling us something. So she said she had to pay for his tickets into Canada. Who was the husband and who was the wife? Please, somebody tell me. Okay, that's a condescending question at that point in time. You are aggressively trying to paint a picture, but hey, that's not new to us at this point. She's painting a picture, and there's no doubt that she's gone through stuff with this guy, especially if she has receipts of him admitting to beating her up in Lagos. You know, people just don't admit to that. Okay, not to an agency, right? 2 days ago, he called to speak to the children, and I do not remember she's in Nigeria now, right? But she's moved into a different house, right? So she moved back to Nigeria. 2 days ago, he called to speak to the children, and I do not keep him from speaking to them, nor from contacting them. He said all manner of things and gave all manner of threats. This sounds so similar to what's going on with the other guy. Anyway, he has also been playing delayed tactics with the divorce process in court, so she filed for divorce. Knowing I am from a comfortable background, this man manipulated his way into my life and manipulated me into marrying him. I need to hear more about that. Yeah, I need to hear more about that, you know. Because of what he will heat. Anyway, so she's from a comfortable background, meaning they're well off in their family, and he manipulated his way into because of what he was going to gain from marrying her, right? She said, I was young and naive. Immediately I entered the marriage, I realized I had been deceived. And it was very hard to come out. That's real. He called 2 days ago to tell our 14-year-old daughter that he is planning something against me, issuing threats. I do not know what he is planning, and sincerely, I am not ready to find out. Abi. Last year, he asked the police in Lagos to arrest me and lock me up for leaving him. Only God delivered me. Apparently, they can do this in Nigeria. Okay? Apparently, they can do this in Nigeria. You can just call the police, arrest her. Where is she going? I've heard that a few times. Okay? Is that true? Because I don't know. It sounds like it could be true. It's Nigeria. I had to run for my life back to Canada. Oh, so she went back to Canada? Oh, that was last year. Okay. Please, fellow Nigerians, help me to ask Joseph OKPONGETE to please leave me alone. It is not by force to be married to him. It's not by force for me to return to his house. I have moved on. Please help me beg him to move on. All right, let me see if there's any more. Oh, there's a post 4. There's a 4th post here. 2 pictures earlier attached reflect my physical state after being psychologically abused for so long. All right, this picture right here. That's what she's talking about. and also landing in the hospital when Joseph refused to drop his passport to the Canadian High Commission in Ghana for us to collect our Canadian permanent resident visa. I was like, you want to travel? No. Well, that is a form of abuse, okay? Particularly if he had agreed to that in the past, okay? If he never agreed that his children should be taken to Canada and you're not asking to bring passport random willy-nilly overnight, I don't know what you would define that as, but it sounds like as a family, they agreed. That's what it sounds like. They probably were going through issues. They were brushing it under the rug. They thought everybody would be fine if they moved to Canada, since there would be some space. After all, distance makes the heart fonder, right? So maybe a little space can help them, but it ain't no help. It's not. It doesn't seem like it's helping. That's what I'm speculating, I had paid $8,000 for the application process. The visas had come through, which was a thing of joy for me. But Joseph wanted us to lose the visas just to hurt me. He waited till the last week before the deadline to submit his passport to the embassy. All my plea fell on deaf ears. So he eventually submitted it. Okay. I landed in Reddington Hospital at 1 a.m. in the middle of the night when I could not breathe. Oh, yeah, it's crazy. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Thank you so much. Hit that like button. I appreciate you. Let's see here. What's going on? Yeah, definitely something's going on with StreamYard. Let me see here. All right, at least we're still streaming. Let's keep going. Something's going on with StreamYard today. But anyway, I landed in Reddington. She could not breathe. I was about to lose the opportunity of a lifetime. I have a doctor's report to substantiate this event, detailing the psychosomatic stresses he had put me through. He eventually dropped his passport 3 days before the deadline given by the Canadian Embassy after family members pleaded with him. I fainted in my son's school the following week due to the stress he was giving me. Teachers and the school principal, including my driver, poured 5 bottles of water on my head to revive me, and I was admitted for 3 days again at Reddington Hospital in Ikeja. Egba mi ejo, mo beyin yo. As she's speaking Yoruba. Okay. Egba mi ejo, mo beyin yo. All right. So the comments are no longer feeding into my studio, so I have to kind of read on the side. Hi Gorex, good to see you. Not to thank you. Okay, at least I know you can hear me. But for some reason it's no longer feeding into my studio again. All right. That means egba mi ejo mo beyin yo. That means I beg you, please save me. That's what she's saying in Yoruba. Anyone who knows him should please ask Joseph Okpongete to leave me alone. Marriage to an abuser and to a narcissist is not by force. My life is being threatened. Thank you. Taiwo Ajayi, the only daughter of Dr. Richard Adejumo Ajayi, founder of the Ajayi Memorial Hospital, Lagos. She's making a point. She's trying to make a point. She tagged everybody. Okay? She tagged everybody. Now, let me see if we can get this done. I'm going to drop this right now. I don't know what's going on with this thing. I just dropped the link. If you have something to say about this, that's the end of the story right there that she posted. It was a well-edited post that she posted up there. Okay? It was cleanly edited. She cleaned it up before she posted it. She wrote it, went back, edited, and she cleaned it up to make it look a certain way. It doesn't mean she's telling lies, but it just means she's trying to paint a particular perspective picture. Okay, I have no doubt that she's gone through abuse in that marriage. Okay, but we only have one side of the story. Okay, now the ending part of the story here, where she says, where she says she posted and she said all her accolades, and none of these accolades involve her own personal accomplishments. Right? She's talking about her father, Dr. Richard, the only daughter. She's talking about all this kind of stuff, manipulation by themselves too. Okay, but I get that she's crying out for help, but I don't know. I just want to hear your thoughts on this. Okay, I definitely think this marriage should not be forced to exist. Okay, if at least one person is feeling this way about a marriage, you need to let them go. Gentlemen, especially now, they want, it's men that don't want to let marriages go. If at least one person feels this way, it's not a healthy situation. Let it go. Okay, you can't force it. If it's going to ever become a healthy situation, you have to, the first step to all of that is to let go. Okay, that's the first step. Let me see who came here. Okay, Brother Patrick is here with me. Hello, sir.
Hey, hola.
How are you, sir? Long time, oh.
I know.
You didn't neglect me, Abby.
I did enjoy summer now.
I feel you. Good to see you, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I took time to listen to the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dr. Elizabeth.
She's from a very popular family.
Popular family.
In Lagos.
Yeah.
So my main question is, what is the role of the church?
That's a good
Does
question.
she mean the church is not aware of this? And the guy is a minister in the church. So that area, that's not, and for her to have come out publicly asking people to help her. I really want to hear from the guy. Our people that knows them.
Yes. The church is obviously quiet about this. It's been 3 days that she posted this. She tagged Pastor Adefarasin in the post, so he knows about it. But I'm suspecting that she's probably tried the church avenue even before she went to the government agency, because she went to the government agency. She says documented, and there's proof recording that he did it.
Is the guy still part of the church? Probably before they moved, the church must have intervened, suspended it. I'm just saying, I'm not saying.
Well, yeah, I know. We don't know. We don't know. That's the answer. We don't know. But I doubt it. I think he's probably still. He's probably still a member of the church. He might have been. It's a possibility he might have been suspended internally, but clearly the church is trying to keep things not in public, keep things private,
And the guy to have gone to that extent. What did the family of the girl, of the lady, did to protect their daughter? I wouldn't have somebody to treat my daughter like that, considering the influence of the dad or the family she comes from. I don't know, maybe it's the girl that's okay. There are some girls that the family have told her like that, that you can't marry such person and say, no, this is the person I love,
Right. They say your audio is echoing. Yeah, I think it's a StreamYard issue today. Something is definitely going on with StreamYard.
Not from my side.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly, but I just checked it in the monitor. I think it's a StreamYard. Let me see something here. Oh, you know what? I just heard myself back actually. Let me just check something. Yeah. Now allow anyway. But Patrick, thank you so much. Yeah. So I think we're gonna keep talking while we try to fix that situation. I think the church knows what's going on. I think, like you said, it's been going on for a while. I think she's just tired. I think whatever she's getting privately, including from her family, like you just mentioned, hasn't been good enough. She doesn't feel protected, even by her family. It seems like to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She too has some skeleton in her cupboard.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the guy really saw the hand of this lady from the father, I know the Yorubas, even when they're giving their daughter to somebody from another culture, they usually emphasize on the fact that you must take care of my daughter.
Right.
So for the lady to have left for Canada with the kids, something must have been going on underneath. This maybe she's hiding, or maybe the family told us that we've told you. That's what I'm suspecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, for her to have gone to one agency, she beat her, she was in the hospital and all those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's
100%. I agree, sir. Yeah, I'm going to follow the story. Basically, I'll follow the story, and then we'll see where it goes. But it does feel like let me just see here. I think this somebody turned up we had a barbecue here a few days ago. So
Pastor Adefarasi, most of the video I watch, it's always talking about marriage and how to fix marriage, giving some wisdom, word of wisdom about marriage. So that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, absolutely. I like Pastor Adefarasi too, but I don't really pay too much attention to him. But these churches are, there's, especially mega churches, there's only so much they can cover in terms of individual personal issues. So for every one case like this that we're hearing in public, right, we can assume that there's probably multiple different cases in that church like that. Would you say the same thing, sir?
But the lady never mentioned the fact that they went to the church, that the church intervened. That was not mentioned once.
Yeah.
Brother, I've had many cases.
Yeah.
That church were involved. Yes, I'm serious. I don't want to mention them here. That church, we are really involved. So
right.
But they still went ahead and divorced. So
right. Yeah. Hold on 1 second, sir. Let me just try to refresh this thing. Maybe the audio will be better. Just hold on right there. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, let's hope it's better. Let's see. Okay, I think it's better.
Yeah, it's better now.
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, I think my stream came back too. Gorek says the lady's family should be able to protect her, but the abuse. Yeah, there's only so much they can do when it really comes down to it, right? I don't know. There's just so much information that we don't know, like including like we don't know if the church is already involved in it and she's just not having enough patience, right? We also know that she's left the country for a while. She left the country 2016, no beans. That's a while back, HOTR since 2016. So she's just coming back, and then she's now crying out for help. She's going to have to line up behind everybody else because there are other people having issues it's a mega church. It's not just a mega church; they have branches too in Nigeria, around the country, I think. So it's it's as far as holding the church accountable to this, until we hear from the church, we don't know. The only thing we can probably extract from this is, I don't know, what kind of lessons do you think we can get from very limited information? Because that what she posted is she's painting a picture. It's just not, we only hear our own side of the story, right? And I'm not discounting that side of the story, but I picked up some things there. She's trying to make, probably because of what she's going through, she's trying to show a certain type of picture. The picture is, save me. Nobody else in my private world is saving me. Social media, somebody, all these people are tagged, come and save me. That's the picture she's posting. And she definitely doesn't want to go back into that marriage.
But she has already filed for divorce.
She
Waiting
filed
for the husband to just, sign the paper, and it takes two to tango. The church cannot do anything. If they want to come together, they have to go through counseling and through professional. The church is not going to do that. But at this stage, they just want to bail out.
Yeah. She just wants out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think she wants out even more so emotionally, because although the guy, according to her, he's threatening on the phone. He's threatening that he's going to do something to her, right? But all of that is still within the range of emotions, which is why we shouldn't be saying the emotion is just a small thing there, because everything starts from the emotion before it becomes reality, right? So, but the guy is definitely threatening, allegedly threatening. So all of that will give people panic attacks. You give a woman panic attacks and make her feel like she needs to cry out for help. Especially if she goes to her family and says, he won't do anything to you. Maybe it's Joseph. He won't do anything to you. Maybe the pastor's like, we're handling this. Everything's gonna be fine. Is it divorce you want? We're talking to him, right? And then he's actively calling the house, right? Just imagine if he's actively calling the house, talking at the kids in a certain type of way. They have a 14-year-old. That 14-year-old knows what's going on, right?
But they can involve the police too.
Yeah, she mentioned that they already involved.
If you even listen to her line of story, she talked about when they were going to embassy when the guy refused to drop her.
Right. Drop the passport.
Yes,
Drop the passport.
I've talked about going to the landlord just to kind of paint the guy. Okay, this guy is bad. I'm not backing the guy. But if you look at the line of story, how can somebody do this? How can somebody do this? Allow them to reject your wife.
Yeah.
Haven't gone for how many years? You are not bringing that story now. Why don't you bail out since?
Yeah. Definitely. There's a lot more there. I just wanted to introduce the story anyway. There's a lot more there that we're probably going to find out more later on. Let me see. Is it still echoing? It's echoing as he's on an uncompleted building. Is it better? Ladies and gentlemen, is it better? What's this lady's IG handle? I think it was I am talk to Taiwo. I am talk to Taiwo. That was the handle. One word. Yeah. So yeah, I think there's a lot she's not letting. Yeah, definitely there's a lot there that we don't know. Let me see. Let me hope that this I'm just gonna read from here. I'm late, so we'll remind to beg. Greeting Uncle Prestige, Bobby Flygeria. Hello. There's a lot she's not letting out, Seth. Okay, it's better now. Thank you. Yeah, the StreamYard is acting up today. Yeah. So there's so much that we don't know. The only thing I can tell you right now is that Orotaniki Babama Kuma Dasi. If you are going through issues in your marriage and you're using manipulative controlling tactics to cover it up, it will come out. Why? Because you're not the only one involved. There's another whole human being involved, at least. And then you also have your children. If you have a 14-year-old, that person, that's a whole person. They know what's going on. Okay, they might even be the one to face you eventually. So it's always a bad idea to try to use manipulative, controlling tactics to quote unquote control another person, especially a person that has filed for divorce, right? Your best chances of getting them back is to let them go first. I know that kicks against our natural instinct, right? Like, what do you mean? Letting go. If I let that go and somebody else, well, that's the point. Maybe that fear is how you're operating, and that's what's pushing that person even further and further away from you, right? It's the same thing that we're talking about, men or women. If they want out, it hurts. Everything I'm saying is easier said than done. Absolutely, right? But it's not like you really have that much choice. Okay, you have to let go first, right? Okay, I understand, because usually it's not the first time you're hearing that there's problem in that marriage already. You know, but you probably felt like, we can deal with it. Oh my, we're all right. No, you'll be all right. But then you never know what people's thresholds are, right? What you might consider they'll be all right is already being received as abusive on their end. And they might just hit that limit one day and they will cut the cord. And then you'll be like, what? No, you can't do that. You're going to break our family apart. Well, the family is already broken. It's too late. You need to let go first. Right? Because if you hear this story, she went to Canada. She already left. Right? So somehow she got to Canada 2 years, because 6 years ago, right? 2 years into being in Canada, because 4 years ago now, she says she's done. But this guy is coming back, according to her, and basically saying she should be kicked out of the house, not paying child support. What about finances? Pastor Brother Patrick, sir, do you think finances played a role in this?
Big one.
Yeah. I think finances is a big part of this. When you extract, we've been talking about the JAPA thing, and we really haven't had a chance to touch the finances aspect of it. It is true that finances will stress out that marriage completely. Okay? It is very true that finances will completely stress out that marriage. What do I mean? Like, if you take out all of your last card, right, and you spend it on visas, and you want to JAPA, I can't judge you for doing that, because Nigeria states will force a family to want to do better for their family, right? But it's also reality that can stress out the whole family. Christmas. Go ahead, sir. You said what?
That's how the lady fainted when the guy dropped the passport.
The passport. So it sounds like somebody that is one of two things. He didn't want his family to leave to Canada, or the second part is they agreed to it, but now the family is going through crisis. And it's like, oh, you're going to go to Canada, and the guy has been listening to Daddy Freeze. And it's like, I heard that if you JAPA, you will leave me. And it's like, no, you're not going anywhere. Right? And then before you know it, she's having panic attacks. And not at that point in time. She's been having panic attacks for months, because it's been threatening, most likely, that you're not going anywhere. I won't even give my passport anyway. But they filed for the paperwork together in the first place, which is why his name is probably on record in applications, right? Possibly, right? So now, before they even got to the point where they're at the embassy or the Canadian, what do you call them? The mission house, Canadian embassy in Ghana, right? Before they got there, there's been a lot of stress already on that family, on that marriage.
Bro,
You know?
the out-educated in Nigeria cannot stand in abroad.
He says that. What did you say, sir?
The out-educated cannot stand abroad.
I didn't hear you. Can you say that again?
I said a house that is already divided in Nigeria
Uh-huh.
cannot stand abroad.
Exactly. This is why people cannot. You can't blame social media for the demise of your marriage. You can't blame JAPA. You can't blame external factors. You cannot blame the rain. You cannot blame the sun. In fact, I will completely tell you to stay away from the blame game because it doesn't help, right? The only thing you can do is look at it and say, okay, there's confusion, there's something going on, we need to learn something new, and take responsibility. Hold yourself accountable as a person. That's really all you can do. Blame doesn't help. Self-guilt doesn't help, you know? You can't blame external factors because there will always be external factors. There will always be rain, sunshine. It's your responsibility to protect what you value, right? So yeah, it's a lot of stress there. The stress we can't claim is external. It's your responsibility. Now, the part that she's talking about, she got manipulated into that marriage. That's another part of the story. But let me bring Natu to the stage. Natu, how far?
Yellow.
Hello. Can you hear me? Hopefully you're not echoing too much. Let me see what's going on here.
Oh, Jesus. Am I echoing?
I think it's fine. I think you're good.
Oh,
How you doing?
okay. I'm doing good, and you?
I'm fine. I'm well.
Was such a short weekend.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yes,
You know
sir.
what I was trying to analyze from what you posted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, from my analysis, from the whole thing that we just read,
Mm.
they probably agreed to all travel together
Mm-hmm.
when everything was coming, when all the paperwork was coming together, and it was beginning to become a reality.
Right.
Baba started getting cold feet because he feels like he understood that he was about to lose his power.
Yeah.
So he started dragging his feet. And I want to believe that they did it together and came together. That's the only way the guy had a way of talking to the landlord to throw them out. Because if not, he wouldn't have any power, or he would not even have any access to tell the landlord what to do. But because both of them signed the papers for the lease,
Mm-hmm.
now he can say, I'm not gonna pay no more. If you keep her, you're gonna be on your own because she ain't working, she don't have money to pay for that. So the landlord's gonna be like, you know what, gotta be out. Because this lease was signed by two people, and now it's
Right.
gonna be one person. I'm not sure you can keep up.
Yeah. That's what I
And just like
thought.
Brad Patrick said, see, a house that is shaking in Nigeria, if you bring it here, it's gonna be worse. Don't
Mm-hmm.
even think like changing the environment like this will make it, because Obodo has his own pressure by
Mm-hmm.
itself. So if already the marriage is shaking and you come and join it with the abroad pressure, my guy, is like putting salt inside wound.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The
Yeah. You're
math is
right.
not matching.
Yeah, you're right. What about the story itself? Do you think what do you think about her story? Do you?
I feel like just like you said it,
Mm-hmm.
she's not getting enough support from her people. There's a possibility, and I can be wrong,
Right.
but I think there's a rift between her and her family, and that's why she's not getting that help. If that's all who her dad said and who he is, I don't think it should be a problem for her to get help. Because I'll just call my daddy and cry now. My daddy will show up and say, let's go. Because he doesn't want to hear his baby girl cry. Only daughter.
Right.
2 seconds, everywhere go boss now.
Right. Right.
Only daughter. Oh. So I just feel like there's something going on with the family that she can't get help from within. So now she had to come outside and scream for help from outside.
All
Yeah.
right. So she's already filed for divorce, and she's just waiting for him to sign. Right.
And I also think, like you said, her bringing it to social media is kind of like twisting his hand to the corner to sign it, because now the whole world knows. So you gotta do it, or you want more disgrace. That's basically what it is. So I think that's the whole idea of how bringing social media. It's not like, on another note again, it's not like 100% needing for help. Just sign this thing and leave me. But if you don't want to sign, I'll post it on Facebook. And that's the manipulation thing you're talking about.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's the thing. There's I could hear that. Well, again, I just want to be. I want to wait for the whole thing to come out. That's what I want to do. But it's just sad that this is quote unquote the body of Christ.
it's
Can
really
I claim
sad.
to be surprised? I'm not really surprised because, especially in Nigeria, especially in the western, southwest side of Nigeria, we know that a lot of people, I mean, being a Christian, a born again Christian these days is almost like it's just a culture, right? It's the in
Right.
thing, you know? So, but these are people that if they don't learn how relationships work, they will suffer, you know?
Right.
And shout out to the Pastor Kingsleys, the Dr. Shalas that try to rationalize
True.
what marriage is supposed to look like with the scriptures. But I personally think that will continue to fall on its face because sadly a lot of people have bastardized the scripture and they try to manipulate it to fit their own narrative, right? And starting with things like, okay, when you say things like God created marriage, right? So that sentence, that statement by itself means so many different things to different people depending on their background and who taught them, you know?
Correct.
And oftentimes people will use that statement and will try to use to shame their partner.
Right.
That's not
So
going
they
to
don't
work.
leave.
You have division. You have division. Like it doesn't matter what you say. If you have active division going on between you and your partner, regardless of how strong you think the faith, the ideology is, if there's division, the house divided against itself, right?
Will not stand.
The same scripture said that, right?
Remember where she wrote that his auntie said if she leaves the marriage, she's gonna cry. Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine how
That's
people
like the
just
first
coin the
thing.
scripture? Yeah.
Yeah. Like you're not like this. There are maybe there are actually scriptures that people use to support that once you're divorced, you can never get married again. You know. So like that couple that Dr. Shala married 2 weekends ago.
Right.
That's part of what people were saying. Like you're not even supposed, like they used to judge Pastor Shola that he's not even supposed to marry those people because they're divorced.
Why? Why?
Because they're divorced. Particularly because they're divorced, you know. So
Like you said, people just interpret the scripture in a way that's gonna suit them or
exactly.
in ways that it will favor them. So if I'm
Exactly.
gonna translate the scripture in a way that will make the other person look bad, then I'll put it that way and I'll make it look like the other person is bad because this is what I feel the scripture says.
Yep.
And to make it worse, like, the husband is a pastor. Do you understand? So it is a pastor. Divorce process is not a day. It doesn't start in one day. So if they've been on this for a long time, I feel like the church should have done something by now. Like if you guys are going your separate ways, or God come and sign this thing. Do you understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So for it to get to this stage, I don't know how much has the church been involved, just like Brother Patrick has asked.
Right. Yeah. If it's a ordained, we don't know if he's a pastor. I don't know if there's a difference. They just said ordained ministers, right? If he's an ordained minister, and he's going through domestic violence, divorce, right? Ideally, because of the image of the church, it's supposed to separate such people. It's not a permanent
Right.
thing. It's just why they sort through the personal issues, right? You separate them, you put them in counseling, not just because they want to save the marriage. Even if they're going their separate way, you put them in counseling still because they got children and they're basically stuck with each
They
other
have
for
to
the rest of their
co-parent.
lives. Yes.
Correct.
You know, so you're supposed to do that so that they can. So now part of that counseling is how to survive together, right? Even though they're going to be going their separate ways, right? But if you look at her last statement, she called him a narcissist and an abuser. If you're asking the public to help you beg somebody to leave you alone, and your very last statement is to call them names, how do you
No,
think how's that gonna
nah,
work out, right?
it's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work, right? Now, she probably doesn't know any better. She probably is not capable of knowing any better because she's the one inside of this funk. She's going through it now, right? So she probably can't think straight. She just needs to escape, right? So whatever she needs to do, including self-destructive tactics, whatever she needs to do, that's what she's going to do, right? When people say women should play fair, because she alluded to the fact that she plays fair, she lets the kids talk to him anytime he wants to talk to them. So sounds like he's the one not playing fair now. When you consider the fact that he didn't take the passport in time, or he's trying to force them to come back into the house, there is no fairness. Stop asking for fairness when you find yourself in this kind of situations. Just stop asking for fairness because it doesn't exist. The only thing you should be learning, as I always say, is your power. Where is your power in this situation? It's easier said than done. It's going to be difficult because obviously it's a difficult situation already. But the more you disconnect from your power, the worse it's going to get for you. The more you are asking the person to hand over power to you, because that's what fairness is. Give me some power. Give me half of the power. That's what fairness is. Right? It's not going to work. Because what they would decide to give to you when they claim they're being fair, you're going to consider like that's still not fair. So there's no winning there for you, right? The only way you can win is to first of all realize that they don't have the power. They are struggling too, right? If a man cannot let an ex-wife go, just let her go. He's struggling too. This is not exonerating him. What I'm saying particularly is that you're giving him too much credit. He's struggling. Especially that he's an ordained minister and he can't figure this part out. You know how much of a confusion that is? Me, I'm an ordained minister. Right? No, you're not going anywhere. Your conclusion of a solution that you came up with is to force her to stay. That's a struggling person. Forget the minister thing. That's a person that has no self-respect. Their level of their idea of self-respect is attached to being married to a person who doesn't want them. Right? Now, am I asking you to have empathy for him? No, I don't. Especially her, she can't have empathy for him because she's trying to save herself, right? Gorek says Daddy Free's lecture was set in his head. There's a lot of people that's going to have that kind of fear from listening to those kind of narratives. A lot of people will have that fear just for listening. If you listen to that over and over again, faith cometh by hearing. You're going to believe that it's going to happen to you. What you fear the most, you will attract. So even before they left Nigeria, he had already been using his own hands to create the funk in that marriage, right? It just gets worse and worse because what will he do? He will try to resistance, right? He will try to force her to stay, and it just doesn't work. If anything, you're teaching her to come back with better tactics, to still want to escape and to leave, or do something that's self-destructive, or run to social media. Social media is not going to help her. Majority of people that will cover this is just want to troll and drag them. Right? We are extracting lessons out of it. So for me, so far right now, the lesson here is if somebody wants out, regardless, see, this is why we don't need the other side of the story to say this. It doesn't matter why she wants out. If she wants out, let her go. It's your best chances of attracting them back if that's even necessary at all. There's a good chance it's probably not necessary. But if that's a thing, and and God wants it that way, your best chances of getting faster into that place is to let her go first. What are you doing when you let her go? You're letting God. You're letting her go. You're letting God. You're allowing the universe to do the work for you, just like it did before. If it did before, because now she's claiming that you manipulated her into the marriage, right? So if that part is true, one day to catch up, right? The truth is undefeated, right? You should do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. The only thing you can do, maybe delay, a little bit of delay, but the truth will always catch up, one way or the other, But yeah, that's basically all I can get from that story right now. There's so much more to it that we're probably gonna get later on. She's an artist. You saw that she was shooting a video earlier. She's a music artist trying to do a music artist thing to this guy multiple times beating up your wife. If that's, well, they said it's documented. If that's true, that's sick. You need help. Okay, gentlemen, don't wait until you beat somebody up before you start to say, I didn't know it wasn't me. Bro, if you're being provoked to the point where you feel like you're losing your senses, you're catching anger unnecessary that you never realized was there, don't wait for her to leave. You need to leave first. Okay? It doesn't have to be a permanent decision. You need to leave first. Okay? Because some people could never come back from it. It was too late. But yeah, we're going to leave that there today. I think this one's going to be a very nice light one. That way, we'll keep it short. Let me get some last word from you, Natu. Then we'll go to Brother Patrick and we'll call it a day.
You said it better, right? And this, I don't think this applies just to men, but also to women. If you start getting to a point where you feel like you're losing yourself, take 2-3 steps back, breathe a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Get help. Because sometimes it's not like we're not capable of knowing that we are going beyond what we can take, and we are just about to bust or break out, but we're just going to keep doing it. So that's where we need to learn all this social, emotional. That's why you need to do the boot camp if you're listening. So we have to learn all of this and be able to tell ourselves the truth when we're going through these things. Like, if you need to take a step back, take a step back. You don't have to wait for it till it gets bad. You don't have to wait for it till it gets worse. You don't have to wait for it till it gets to social media like this one.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be like, oh, I didn't know all of that was happening. It's the devil's work. So we have to cut some slacks for ourselves, talk to ourselves, tell ourselves, hey, you're doing a little bit too much, you're losing it. Breathe, step back, get help, all of those stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Natu.
Oh, Papa.
We'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow.
Hi.
Maybe 2 days time. We got to talk about that. Kimura and.
Listen. Mm-hmm. I thought they were the best co-parents.
Me too.
That's how they were making it look like.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a few days. We got to talk about Yvonne Nelson too.
I didn't see that coming. Oh, listen, we have a lot. We have a lot to cover.
Yep. All right, we'll talk soon.
All right, no problem.
Bye. Mm-hmm. Brother Patrick, sir, you did there? Brother Patrick. All right, maybe he's disconnected. All right, so let's do this. I'm looking at the story and I'm like, okay, all right. Another DV story, but this time around it's coming from a pastor of a reputable church. I was like, we got to talk about this because people think extremes only end up. Listen, there's all kind of extremes that will end up your next door if you don't pay attention, and it starts with little things. Okay. Little complaint here and there. It's that. Shout out to you, White Honey. It starts with little things. Pay attention to the little things. Appreciate the little things. Don't let them slide. Just appreciate them as they come, right? Just appreciate the little things, As far as the manipulation that she claims, It has been 14 years. Their first daughter is 14 years old. We're gonna need to hear more about that. Not like I don't believe her. I think there's more than enough to believe that she's going through a very bad situation and she should probably leave. She should leave. It doesn't have to be accurate before she leaves. If it's not conducive and she felt, even if she's lying, if she felt the need to lie about this, that's why she should leave. Okay, but what if she's lying? If she's lying, that's very much the same reason. Okay, that you should leave. Okay, because clearly that person doesn't want to be there, and you need them to want to be there before you can create anything good with them, right? She called him a narcissist towards the end, called him an abuser, all that kind of stuff. Listen, again, it doesn't matter. If you're with a person, see, I keep telling you, it's not about two sides of the story must be balanced. I like to hear that too, so we can get some more lessons out of it, right? But ultimately, no, we don't have to wait till all the sides of the story comes in before we get the lessons. The main lesson here is this: letting go is one of the hardest things for human beings to do. And when they can't do it, they try to engage controlling, manipulative tactics. And the person that have decided that they want out, it's just not going to work. You know? It's not going to work. If they've already decided that this is not it for them, it's not going to work. Being honest with you. Okay? And it's a very tricky thing because the wife you married 14 years, she's just going to wake up one day and just come and just claim that something happened here and then I'm just going to leave. Yeah, I know the feeling. Feels like somebody pulled the rug from under you. It feels like they can't just do that. Yes, they can. Okay, and the more you're arguing with your destiny, the worse it's going to get. Yes, they can. And you're not going to pretend like you didn't see it. Some type of ways you see it coming now. Like they've been complaining. You didn't think it was a big deal, but they've been complaining. Okay? Who's at fault? It doesn't matter. I'm not talking about who's at fault. What matters is that at least one person does not want to be in that situation. Now, she's using languages like psychologically something, manipulation, and she's using those languages. She did claim that there was DVs. She outrightly said that she was beaten up by this guy. Okay, so I don't think she can lie about that. If he's already gotten to that point, you need to let go. Let it go. The earlier you can let it go, the more you can move on into the future, right? The better you can move on into the future. Anything else, it's just going to drag the issues. It will get worse, and you don't want that. Okay. So if you go to her again, she claims to be she's a personal coach, relationship coach, and she's going through all of this. What do you think she's going to teach other people? What do you think she's going to teach other people? But the husband is a pastor in the House on the Rock Church. Yeah. So we heard. So unless she goes through proper healing and come out on the other side, which is easier said than done, that's a very difficult thing to do. She needs support system. Social media is not a support system. All right. It's not. Okay. So now she's probably gotten some support because she tagged those people and they probably but they forgot to go delete those. I will probably first of all go delete those comments from her personal page. It still can be deleted off the internet, but it is what it is. But this lesson is mainly for people that don't want to let go. For now, it's about let go. Because if you don't let go, you're literally going to become an abuser. You're literally an abuser. Okay. Because they don't want to be a part of it. Okay, they don't want to be a part of it, and all that matters is that they don't want. The right and wrong doesn't matter. They just don't want to be a part of it. If they don't want to be a part of it, they don't want to be a part of it. You need to be okay with that. You need to be okay with the hurt that comes with that. Yes, it's going to hurt, because remember, like 14 years, just like that, she's just going to decide she's out. or he just decided that he's just gonna act mad. Either way, I know it hurts. That's why you need support system. That's why you need coaching. That's why potentially, if you're in the stage where she's at, where you're feeling like you're losing your mind, panic attacks and all this kind of stuff, you need to retain therapist. Yep. Natty says, marriage coach without emotional intelligence, what is she teaching? If I'm going through what she's going through, all emotional intelligence goes out the window. Because I'm going through something. Right? It goes right out. That's why you remain a student of it for life, right? There's no end to it. When somebody triggers your emotions, you're not able to do emotional intelligence. It's just an oxymoron, right? But right now we're talking about she's in a space where she actually came on the internet thinking she's going to get something out of it. Maybe finally they will take her serious. Maybe she really needed to cry out for help. If that's all it's going to be, right? Maybe she needed it that badly, right? Because would we have preferred that she was found deleted? I don't think we would like that, right? So there is a space where we can leave some room there. I think it's a bad idea in general to come and put your stuff on the internet. But if it feels like no one is listening to you and feels like the world is caving in on you, self-preservation is always okay. Whatever way you have to do it, you know. But it's just not, the social media is not sustainable. You can't, it is what it is. You can't use it. So now he will pay attention because now his image is out there. Right? He wasn't paying attention before, getting on the phone, threatening the babies. Allegedly, he will pay some attention now because he's probably a guy who cares about his image too. If he's a pastor, an ordained minister, he probably cares about his image. But he probably thought manipulating and controlling and saying, hey, go back to your house now, you're a minister, you're supposed to know better. He probably thought that all of that was enough. All that kind of stuff is becoming less and less enough. They're not enough, okay? Including overly religialized, spiritualized concept around marriage. It's just, we're human beings, okay? We only care about how we feel. We will break all the rules if it makes us feel better. That's just how this works, okay? So if you want us to do the right thing, it needs to come with feeling right. I'm sorry. I know you think it's supposed to be duty and responsibility. No, it needs to come with, I feel right. I feel like, okay, I'm in a space where, it needs to, the point is, it needs to have value for me. What's in it for me? What's the value in it for me? Particularly at an emotional level, because this is 2023 and we're in a different time and age. I don't have to go out there and hunt for lions. Majority of what we're talking about is all emotional. I don't have to hunt. I don't have to protect us from lions. I don't have to hunt for goats to eat at night. Okay, it's another level of soft life, but difficult because this emotional level thing is a very difficult thing for people to understand because they think just because you're right, it's supposed to be right, and it's not working. It's not working because people only care about what they value. Okay, so and if you're not capable of, at an emotional level, bring them value, you're not competent. That's what it comes down to. Okay, and you need to let go because honestly, you don't really have a choice. That's just the reality. The same thing with your children. Your relationship with your children. If all you know how to do is not sparing the rods, you're going to suffer. Okay? Because just the rod is not enough anymore. It needs to value. That baby needs to see what is in it for me. Right? If you try to force anything down their throat, it gets worse because you're just teaching them better ways to cut corners and circumvent whatever the nonsense ideologies from 1960 you're bringing to the table. Okay, you're just teaching them better way. They will find a better way to still circumvent it. One day they just tell you, to hell with you. What are you gonna do about it? Well, I'm done. Now what? Social media, save me. Right? Adeze says anger mixed with entitlement equals to DV. That's an interesting way to look at it. I think DV is not okay. Whatever excuses we want to attach to it. And I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm just saying in general. DV is not okay. You find yourself in that space, don't even try to define it. Just run. Either you're the person who is on the receiving end, or you're the one perpetuating it. If you find yourself and you're like, DV, man, woman, just run. Run. Okay? Just leave right now. It doesn't have to be a permanent decision. Run. All right. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Let's keep it simple so that other people can come out and see that it's less than 2 hours and want to watch. How's that? All right. Thank you so much. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll be back here in another 2 days or so. Late night, during the week, late night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you can't make it to the night time, make sure you watch it in the morning. Okay. That's how we're going to get through this until I'm done with the project I'm working on right now. But again, don't forget, if you haven't done so yet, go sign up for the 30-day boot camp. It's at loveandproceed.com. It's a free course. It's called the Smart Relationship Guide. You also get access to the book for free. Go sign up for that right now. Go join. It's free. All right. And on your way out, do me a favor, hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.